The pitch from Acevedo.
Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit.
Fly ball, gap, right center field.
Double him up at second.
Luke is going back to the 1-8 track. Get out the right, run and Buster Grandma. It is grand salami time.
will send Seattle to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years.
Good morning, Mariners fans, and welcome back to the Light the W podcast. As always, I am your host, Mahal Anderson. We're riding solo this Friday. No Jeff this Friday, as he's been out on vacation all week, so he hasn't been able to watch this distasteful, disgusting, terrible baseball team that is now 3 games back of the Houston Astros for first place in the division, and they welcome the 68-46 Tampa Bay Rays to town. Starting tonight, who are 7-3 in their last 10 games, have a plus 41 run differential, at first place in the American League East, have the best record in the American League, and have one of the best records in baseball. It is not going to be an easy weekend. The Mariners will be lucky to get one win. But they need more. They need more. This team needs to win each and every series at home right now, because on the road, they don't stand a shot. They don't stand a chance. And you have a grueling, brutal road trip ahead of you where, ultimately, right, like we have a month and a half, slightly over that, left in the season, but you're getting to the point where you can be sunk. You can be sunk with how you play the rest of this August. And dropping a series to the Tigers, who just traded Tarek Skubal, where you get just blown out of the water in Game 1 and Game 2, or Game 1 and Game 3, and in Game 2, you have one of your better wins of the season. It's been a lack of consistency. It's been a lack of fire. It's been a lack of a lot of things for this Mariners team this year, including a lack of ability to hit with runners in scoring position. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Mariners and what they do with runners on base, with runners on scoring position. We're going to talk about this year. We're going to talk about last year. We're going to talk about Julio. We're going to talk about Cal. We're going to talk about since May 1st. We're going to talk about all these different things. Talk about different players. Did a lot of digging this morning around it. I think it's pretty interesting. Now, obviously, you would assume the Mariners are worse with runners in scoring position. You would assume they are worse with runners on base than they have been in the past. You would assume that they are just not very good this year. And that's pretty accurate. They aren't, right? And they need to pick it up. They currently rank 19th in WRC plus with a 102 WRC plus. That's 2% above league average with runners in scoring position. They rank 28th in RBIs, 30th in runs scored, 28th in plate appearances with runners in scoring position, so they're not having that many opportunities. And they only have 9 more plate appearances than Toronto, who are in last with plate appearances with runners in scoring position. So not only are you not having opportunities, you're not hitting well with your opportunities, you're not driving in runs, and you rank last in your runs scored. Now, with runners on base, I did a little bit more digging. The Mariners actually ranked 12th in WRC plus with runners on base. However, they have the 6th highest strikeout rate at 23%, slightly over that, and they rank 29th in average of 30 teams, hitting just 236 with runners on base. Now, with that, usually the Mariners bring in slug, and that makes up for them hitting with low average. That's been really the case this entire era. And while they rank 6th in home runs with 65, they rank last in doubles with 55, less doubles than home runs with runners on base. And they rank 25th in slug percentage, which is just basically 401 to be exact. This has led them to rank 29th in runs, all while ranking 26th in plate appearances and 6th in walk percentage. Over 10% walk rate with runners on base. They rank 6th in walk percentage, 6th in home runs, but they haven't had that many opportunities, and with their opportunities, they have not been good enough. They haven't driven in enough runs. They haven't had enough hits. And they're grounding into double plays too much. They're 16th in ground into double plays with runners on base, which is not good enough. That cannot be the case. You look at a year ago. I'm going to give you the numbers, and I'll put them in comparison to what the Mariners are doing this year, so you don't have to remember the numbers I just gave. With runners in scoring position, a year ago in 2025, the year the Mariners got 8 outs away from a World Series, they ranked 10th in WRC plus with runners in scoring position, a 126 WRC plus. That is a difference of 24 points and 9 ranks among the league compared to this year. They went from 10th in WRC plus to 19th in WRC plus with runners in scoring position. In terms of runs, they ranked 19th in runs last year, which not great, below average, but it was feasible. It was good enough. They ranked 26th in average, hitting .235, but they had the 10th most plate appearances with runners in scoring position in baseball, which meant they had more opportunities to make up for being bad at hitting with runners in scoring position. That meant they drove in more runs. It meant their WRC plus was higher. With runners on base now, they ranked 2nd among all teams in baseball in WRC plus last year with runners on base, a 118 WRC plus. They ranked 12th this year. So big difference there. Again, mostly just because the Mariners were the 2nd best team in baseball in terms of WRC plus at hitting with runners on base. They're also top 10 in slugging percentage, in 9th, 432 slug. It's a big difference again from this year where they are hitting, or where they're slugging just 401. 401 to 432 in the matter of a year. They were 23rd in average, better again, 10 points better than this year, being 246th. They had a strikeout rate below 22.5%. Yet they were still really low in doubles, 27th. But made up for it as being 2nd in home runs in baseball. They were 10th in runs overall and 13th in plate appearances with runners on base. Their walk rate was the same as this year, but again, more opportunities a year ago with runners on base than this year. They were getting more runners on base. All while hitting better and driving in more runs. Meaning, when there's runners on, you're knocking some of them in. Right? It means you're going to have opportunities continually. They would hit home runs. They would get more runners on base. This year, it's a home run or it's nothing. And that's a problem. That's an issue. And this offense has been an issue. You scored 4 runs the entirety of the Tigers series. You've been shut out 11 times this season. Already more than last year by a good margin. And the most in baseball. It's not been good enough. And it has to start with how you hit with runners on base and with runners in scoring position. So after looking at the overall numbers, I wanted to look at a couple different players. I wanted to look at Julio and I wanted to look at Cal. These are the 2 guys that are supposed to be the stars of this team. And the more you think about it, the more this team is lacking a consistent star. They don't have it. In 2025, Cal Raleigh was a consistent star. In 2022, when the Mariners made the postseason to break the drought, Julio Rodriguez was a consistent star in the second half and really after April. In Julio Rodriguez's career, with runners on base, he is a 139 WRC plus. He has 321 RBIs and almost 1,300 plate appearances, which is an RBI roughly every 4 plate appearances. In 2026, a 119 WRC plus, a 20-point drop-off. He has 8 home runs and has an RBI over every 4.5 plate appearances. over every 4.5 plate appearances. It takes Julio nearly 5 plate appearances to have an RBI with runners on. Last year, again, it was basically 4. With runners in scoring position in Julio's career, a 124 WRC plus, 24% above league average, and an RBI every 3 plate appearances. Better. More RBIs, more often. That's what you want. 2026, an 86 WRC plus, 14% below league average. 38% worse compared to the rest of the league than he is over the course of his entire career. Just 2 home runs this year with runners in scoring position and an RBI over every 3 plate appearances. Worse again than he's been over the course of his entire career. The Mariners need Julio Rodriguez to pick it up, and he hasn't done it. You look at what he's done since July 1st. With runners on base, he's been a 70 WRC plus. Already worse than what he's done this season. Julio's been at 119 over the course of the entire year with runners on. Yet he's been a 70 over the past month plus. And the Mariners have suffered. The Mariners need their best guys to be able to drive in runs. And it's not happening. The Mariners need it to be picked up ASAP. ASAP. And it starts and ends to me with 2 guys. Julio Rodriguez and the big dumper. For Cal, we're going to look at his career, we're going to look at this 2026, and we are also going to look at 2025. I'm going to give you the WRC plus numbers for 2025 first. With runners on base in 2025, Cal Raleigh had a 184 WRC plus, had 31 home runs, and drove in a run roughly every 3 plate appearances. Slightly over every 3. Over the course of his career, he's been a 126 WRC plus with runners on base, driving in a run nearly every 4 plate appearances. With runners in scoring position in 2025, a 170 WRC plus. A fantastic year. 15 home runs, 63 RBIs, 179 plate appearances, which is less than 3 plate appearances per every RBI. If Cal Raleigh got multiple plate appearances with runners in scoring position, he was driving in a run. If he got 3 plate appearances with runners in scoring position, he was driving in at least 1 run in 2025. Yet in 2026, Cal Raleigh has a 61 WRC plus with runners on base. Over 4 plate appearances per every RBI. Just 5 home runs. And of his 36 RBIs with runners on base, 32 of them have come with runners in scoring position, and 3 of his 5 home runs have come with runners in scoring position, leading him to a 72 WRC plus, an actually pretty good rate in terms of plate appearances per RBI, about 2.5, actually better than he was last year, but not enough opportunities and not enough slug. Even close to enough slug. Again, in 2025, Cal Raleigh hit 15 home runs with runners in scoring position. In 2026, he has 3. 5 times less home runs in 2026 than he had in 2025. He is killing this team. Killing them. He's not giving them a shot. And I'm not pinning this all on Julio and Cal. I'm not meaning to. I don't want to. But you need at least one of these guys to be a star for this team to go. Every team needs their guy. The Mariners, through their history, through their 50 years, for the past 30 of it, have had a guy. Since Ken Griffey Jr. came up, they have pretty much had a guy. From Junior to Edgar to A-Rod to Ichiro to even Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz. Those were guys that were consistent, legit, star type of players. In 2022, the Mariners had it. In 2023, they didn't. What happened? In 2024, they didn't. What happened? In 2025, they got it in an outlier special season from Cal. Not that Cal can't be a good player again. Not that he can't be touching towards a star. Not that he can't be a star catcher. But he cannot be the best bat in your lineup year in, year out. And Julio hasn't proved that he is a good enough bat at the plate to be your best bat year in, year out when you are searching for a World Series and an AL pennant. He hasn't. Your best hitter with runners in scoring position this year and runners on base is Randy Arozarena. Right behind him is J.P. Crawford. Those two guys, because of the makeup of the lineup, haven't gotten enough opportunities with runners on base. Part of that is because Cal, Julio haven't gotten on base enough. Part of that is that, and Josh Naylor as well. But there haven't been enough opportunities because there aren't enough guys getting on base. The Mariners need Brendan Donovan to be Brendan Donovan. They need Taylor Ward to get on base. They need Colt Emerson to figure it out a little bit. And they need J.P. Crawford back because he is maybe their best and most consistent hitter in clutch situations with runners on base and runners in scoring position. And you need to put him in a spot in the lineup where he can make the most of that. Over the course of this entire season, Josh Naylor has the most at-bats with runners in scoring position for the Seattle Mariners. In those at-bats, in those plate appearances, he's slashing 215, 314, 350 for a 94 WRC+, not close to good enough. His 37 RBIs rank 4th on the team, but again, not good enough. Cal Raleigh has the 5th most plate appearances with runners on base, and Julio Rodriguez has the 3rd most. Again, their numbers are not very good. Julio with runners on has been better, a 119 WRC+. Cal's been a 61. And Josh Naylor's been a 94. And again, since July 1st, Julio Rodriguez has a 70 WRC+ with runners on base. Cal Raleigh has a 111, Josh Naylor has a 105, and J.P. Crawford has a 183. Over the course of the entire season, he's a 153 WRC+, but he's 7th in plate appearances with runners on base, partially due to injury, but also because he's been leading off, and there aren't guys right now at the bottom of this lineup that get on base consistently. J.P. Crawford, they've been using him to try and be the guy to get on base. He's not that guy. You need him in the 7, 8, 9 spots in your order to drive in the heart of your lineup, the middle part of your order when they get on base. That's J.P. Crawford's role on this team. Yet we haven't been using him in that role. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't. Over the course of the season, Cole Young has 183 plate appearances with runners on base and has a 123 WRC+. He's been great, a fantastic year for Cole Young. He can still be better, he can still improve, but he has been great. He's been a huge breakout star for this team. But again, he's not the all-around hitter. He's not the all-around star that this team desperately needs. He's a good player. He's a good hitter. He's not great, and he's not a star. Randy Arozarena has 192 plate appearances with runners on and a 165 WRC plus, which ranks the highest all regulars on the team as expected because he's been their best hitter pretty much the entire year. Since May 1st, Randy's been unbelievable. 187 WRC plus. He is saving their numbers. And again, Naylor a 91 WRC plus since May 1st with runners on, having the most plate appearances with runners on. And it's where he's hitting in the lineup once again. He's hitting behind the Dom Canzones, the Cole Youngs, the Randy Arozarenas, which are doing a good job of getting on base, of getting hits, doubles, singles. Those guys walking, those guys are doing it. But the guys behind them, Josh Naylor, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, have not done close to enough when those guys get on base, and they're stranded more often than not out there. And it's a problem. It's part of why the Mariners can't score. Their reliance on home runs is way too heavy, and at this point, I don't know what all you can really do about that, because it's sort of just how your team is built. It's sort of the mentality of this team. It's, we need a big home run. That's how we're going to save it. I want to see this team hit doubles. And it's not an easy thing to do in T-Mobile Park. Not at all. The gaps are not very big. But you shouldn't be ranking in the bottom 3, bottom 5 every single year in doubles. Go hit an opposite field double. I will forever have Josh Naylor's double against the Colorado Rockies last year to push the Mariners to that point, to the postseason, to the division title. I will forever have that swing ingrained in my brain because that is exactly what I've wanted to see from this Mariners team for so fucking long. So long. That was the type of thing Julio Rodriguez was able to do his rookie year. Part of what made him a star. He hasn't been able to do it since. His swing on Wednesday night, the home run was great. More of that. But can you take that pitch and can you lash it to the right center gap, whether it's a homer or a double? Use the big part of the yard to your advantage as a right-handed hitter. Why are you pulling the ball in T-Mobile Park? Why are you trying to hit home runs? Use the field to your advantage. Be athletic. Hit doubles. Pass the baton. Put yourself on base. And while this team has sucked with runners on, you need more opportunities. You need to get on base more. And Taylor Ward is not the solution to that problem. The solution is sitting in front of your face with Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh and Josh Naylor. It's those 3 guys. If those 3 guys can start to pick it up and start to drive in some runs and start to hit some doubles and some home runs, this team can do what they want to do. If they don't, they're not making the postseason. They're not. And the rotation has not been good enough as of late either, and I think that's something I'll probably look at next week. But the offense has to be the first discussion, and I think it had to start here with runners on base, runners in scoring position, because it's not been close to good enough. It's a huge series that starts tonight. It's a huge series. The Mariners need to play their best ball. I don't think there's any other way to put it. This is a Rays team that is good. It's a Rays team that added at the deadline and made themselves better. And it's gonna be a difficult series. Looks like you'll get Drew Rasmussen, Griffin Jackson, Ian Seymour. You'll miss Freddie Peralta. But this is a team that ranks 9th in OPS, 16th in runs scored, 4th in ERA from their starting pitchers, 14th in ERA from their relievers. And you got to step it up. You got to play better. Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, Liam Hicks, all at the top of that lineup. It's not going to be easy. They're going to hit the ball around. They're going to steal some bases. They're going to run on you. Like, you have to play clean baseball in the field. You're gonna have to pitch clean. You're gonna have to keep your head down, stay focused, work your ass off. You're gonna have to drive in runners when you have the opportunity. It doesn't feel like there's a turning point coming. It felt like any one of these days it could have been the turning point. It doesn't really feel like any of them are gonna be. But if you're gonna get one, it's now or never. It's now or never. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Light W Podcast, episode 194 of the show. Till next time, till Monday. As always, go Nurse.